Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of Let's Color Grade. I'm back in Denmark and I haven't been posted for a few weeks again, but the coming month, I'll be posting every day to grow my YouTube, to give you a lot more value and to see how far we can get. So without much further ado, let's get straight into this video. Today we are going to color grade a drone clip from the Air 2S and I'm super excited this. One of my friends sent it to me a while ago. And I thought we'd do something slightly different. So we'll skip some of all the introduction stuff and we'll go straight into color grading in Davinci Resolve, obviously. And for this one, we'll start doing a base grade around this green clip from the Dolomites. And then we'll do 2 additional grades on the same clip. So I kind of like showing you how we can do 3 different grades on the same clip. So let's jump straight into Davinci, into the computer. All right, guys, we are inside of Davinci, as you can see, and we've jumped straight onto the color grading tab. I have put in the same clip 3 times over here. And what we're going to do is basically just color grade the first one, copy the grade to the 2 different ones, and then slightly adjust them. So what I want to do for this one, we want to, of course, adjust it first to have nice colors. Want to keep the green, want to maybe adjust it a little bit to look even nicer, give it a nice grade. Then for the second one, we want to do more kind of like this was shot at sunrise, so we want to do some warm tones around the highlights, maybe darken it a little bit more just to get like a different feel. And then for the last one, we want to desaturate it to get these like kind of like moody green tones. So let's see how far we can get and get started. So the first thing we're going to do, as always, is going to make our note tree. Don't worry, very soon there will be a video on what the notes are and how they work. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating our color correction row, our color grading row, and then this is going to be for our masking. And this is our color space transform, as always. So we're going to do the color space transform. We're going to hit D for DJI D gamut and D for D log here, and R for Rec 709 and G for gamut 2.4. Usually I do Rec 709 here, but I've seen so many colorists do gamut 2.4. I'm going to look into why and give you an explanation at some point, but for now, this is what we're working with. So this is what it looks like now. It's definitely way too dark in some areas. You can see the scope down here as well. So we have a little bit of clipping in the highlights and clipping in the shadows. So let's fix that by pulling up the left to around here, I think, and then pulling down the gain as well, kind of like make it a little bit more compact, like so. And now it looks very flat again. So that's when we will put in our contrast. And now you can see it dips a little bit again, but I still do think that it looks somewhat better. Maybe raise the midtones a bit as well. And I think we might want to go a little bit further down here. So it's still quite dark in the bottom and a little bit not overexposed per se, but we don't have much detail up here and up in this corner. But I think it looks pretty good. So that is our correction. Let's see if we need to balance some of the temperature a little bit. So let's see. I think maybe we want to warm it up just by like 50. And we might want to go towards the green hues in the tint. Maybe quite a bit actually, just to get the tones a bit more green from the get-go. So I think that's what we're doing here. So I do that on the very first node. So that's why we have the structure, and the 4th node might be new in case of what I usually do, but this is actually for denoising, which we're not going to do today, but that's why I have that node here. So we won't use the 4th node today. Let's jump straight into the color grading phase. So this was kind of like just, getting it from the log to this starting point of correcting the image, and now going to node 5. So we're going to jump into the hue versus hue. Going to make all these points in the colors. And then let's try and see how it looks when we're pulling these strings. So I think we want to do some more green. So I think we want to pull it a little bit towards the greens and fix it in the saturation in a minute. And we want to do the same thing here with the reds, just to get this kind of green look. and then pull it up a little bit again. So I think I like these nice green tones. You can see what we did here. We're actually gone, let's hide the clip so you can see it a little bit better. Like so. You can see if we zoom into the middle here, that we've kind of like balanced out the colors to be more green. Before it was much more red and we had all these different hues. So now we've balanced it quite a bit more. And for that, I think it's fine. I don't think we need to do anything with the blues or anything. So let's jump to the hue versus sat and do kind of the same thing. So let's play around with saturation here. And for this one, we don't want to go too far on desaturation. So I think we'll actually put it up just slightly and then see. Yeah, I think we want to pull both up just a little bit, just to give it some more saturation. And then for the luminance, I'm not sure we want to do too much, but let's see. Yeah, let's brighten it up a little bit as well. Like so, and we can brighten up that part quite a bit actually. Okay, so I really like how that looks. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good starting point. Let's jump into the color warper and just see if there's anything we want to tweak in here. I do like it to be a little bit to the warmer side still. So let's drag it a little bit to the right. Didn't make a huge difference, but there's a little bit going on up here. And see for the yellows, we want to keep them at the greens, but maybe brighten them up and then desaturate them a little bit, like so. And then look at the greens, they don't do much to us in here. And then see, I think we have some purple up here. So just to make sure that we don't have anything big going on. So basically we've just done a little bit of desaturation and a little bit of like pulling some of the colors together, making it a little bit warmer up here again. So nothing big. And then let's see if we want to do something in the primary wheels. Might want to try and do just ever so slightly pull the lift towards the green tones. Just to get it more green here, because I think right now it's a little bit too dark. Maybe pull it towards the tint. We're not going to do much, and then counterbalance that a little bit by dragging the gamma towards kind of like the red-orange tones. Like so. It didn't do much, but it warmed it up a little bit up here. And I think it straightened out our shadows a little bit more as well. It at least it made them a little bit more like deep green. And I kind of like that for this look. We want to go for an all green look, more or less. So I kind of think, yeah, I like how this looks. Then let's go for some masking, and we're going to go really simple on this one. So the first thing I want to do is I want to do a squared power window, and I want to drag it all the way to the sides. And then I kind of want to tilt it a little bit, rotate it, maybe pull it out a little bit more, and then feather it in from the bottom. Click Shift H to see what we're doing here. Kind of zoom out a little bit more and see what we're doing here. So something like that. Zoom in a little bit again, and then go to our primary wheels, turn down the gamma, turn down the gain a little bit. I'm not going to turn down the lift, or maybe I'm going to turn down the lift a little bit more, but we don't want the clipping. So what I'll do at the same time is go back to our custom curves. I'll just pull this up ever so slightly and then pull down the shadows again. Make sure we don't have any clipping, but kind of have more soft shadows instead. And I really like how this looks, just gives it some more contrast to the image, and we might even pull it up a little bit more, like so. Let's see how it looks when we move further into the clip. Yeah, I kind of like how this looks. Maybe actually we're going to draw it back just a little bit to see. Yeah, I think that's better. All right. So we go back to this again, and then we'll do our second mask. We'll do a circular power window, soften it out quite a bit, and then I'll pull it up in the corner, click Shift H to see what we're doing, and pull this out a little bit. And I just want to do the softness to 100. Pull it so that it's around here, and then we are going to increase the gamma. And I think we want to do the same thing, just pull down the highlights a little bit, and then pull up the or like pull down the whites and then pull up the highlights a little bit again, just to give it this more soft look. And now we've balanced it quite a bit up here. So we've gotten a lot more like brightness up here, and I kind of like that. So we've got a lot more contrast in our image. You can kind of see when we turn these off and on and off, how it shifts. Pull the focus into the middle by brightening up this part and darkening this. And we might just take a look and see if we put in a power window in the middle. Maybe actually make it a little bit smaller. See what we're doing around here. And the only thing I want to do for this is just to give it a bit more contrast. So I'll pull down the shadows a bit and pull up the highlights a little bit more. Maybe even pull up the midtones. And it kind of just gives it a little bit more punch in the middle. So let's just go back and actually feather this out a little bit more. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Feather it out and kind of just, yeah, I think this is good. So it's not as strong, but you can still see how, if we go into the curves again, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see how we've just brought a lot more contrast into this part. It kind of looks like a little bit dehazy now. Now we just pulled in some more contrast. So what we ended up doing with these, I kind of like turning it around, pulling more contrast and focus into the middle, darkening this side a little bit as it was already in shadows, and then brightening up this part. So I think overall for this look, I think that's pretty good. Like we just take all the color stuff. This is what we've done. So we went from this to the greens and then made the contrast as well. I really like this look, and this was done rather quickly as well. So let's pull up our clips again and then click Command C, standing on this, click Command V 2 times on each clip or 1 time on each clip. And then let's see what we can do. So this, now we want to manipulate the grade a little bit. So for the second one, I want to hide the clips again so we can see a little bit better what we're doing. And then I actually just want to go into the mask that we did up here, and then go in and just adjust it a little bit to make it warmer. So let's just pull up the gamma, pull up the gain, give it this nice sunrise kind of feel with these warm tones, the sun coming up. Look at the big difference this makes. I'm just gonna pull it even further, like so. I think that's really nice. Yeah, so just gave it a lot more warmth up here, and then might wanna cool down the shadows even more. Let's see how that looks. That's way too much, but just seeing how the lift kind of works with us here. Just making it a bit more blue. Doesn't have to be too much, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like it, so we're just pulling it back a little bit to make it ever so slightly less. And let's see for what we did in the middle if we want to do anything. I think we might want to, let's brighten this up a little bit more with the, not brighten it up, but warm it up a little bit more as well. Let's just see if we can get some nice tones. Just trying to figure out where the good position for this is. So yeah, we're just pulling the gain around just a little bit. We don't want to go too far on that, because it looks a little bit extreme. And also the colors are starting to fall apart a little bit in the greens, you can see here. So let's just try and go back into our greens and just see if we pull these a little bit more. So now we actually just pulled the hue a little bit up just to see if we can kind of collect the colors a little bit more, maybe go into the color warper as well, and just see what we can do here in terms of trying to make it a little bit more balanced, because I don't want to have like green patches all over when we're trying to do this. I like how this looks, but I kind of think that now it's a bit too strong what we did in the middle. So let's just pull that back down, maybe even zero it out and just like pull it back just a little bit. And then we might want to adjust the contrast a little bit again. So let's just pull up shadows, pull down the midtones a little bit. And I I think that looks pretty good. So that's quite a big change from what we did before. So if we switch to the other clip, you can see this is how the grade looked right before. I still like this look, but this is very green. We could adjust the greens a little bit more, but now when we go to the second clip, this is what we're working with. Just a way to show you how these two clips, these two grades can look different. So this is very much neutral, still with a subjective look. And then this is taking it a lot further, using the masks to kind of use the colors as well and control those. And then for the last one, I kind of want to just go in and try and see what we can do with desaturation. So I'm going to make a new node here and just see what happens if we try and desaturate it a little bit. So desaturate the overall image and then go into our colors again and then go into the saturation and try and just pull down the greens, pull down the yellows, kind of trying to make a more moody look. So we'll do the same thing with the luminance. Pull those down quite a bit. Maybe pull down the greens a little bit as well. You can kind of see where we went from and where we're at now. Seeing how everything looks a little bit more dull. I think we want to try and play around with the contrast some more. So let's take this power window that we have up here and try and just brighten it up a little bit more. Maybe even go in and pull up the highlights again, pull it up even more. Now it's starting to, like, we have no detail left up here, but I think for this look, it's okay. And then even might want to do some more contrast in the middle as well. Like so. And then see if we go back to our saturation over here. See if it needs to go either direction. I think we can desaturate it a little bit more. This kind of just to create a more moody look, and then see if we need to drag these down as well. So I don't think this one is my favorite, but I wanted to do this either way. So just like look at how much we did. I think some people might like this, and depending on what you are creating, this is definitely a look as well. I see a lot of people react when I do these kind of like more desaturated looks. It looks kind of more dystopia kind of vibes, I think. So let's just take a look back. So this is the clip that we started with. We converted it to Rec 709. Then we color corrected it a little bit to get it to a nicer starting point. We balanced the hues, balanced it some more, created a little bit of a style to it with the primary wheels. And then we added our mask down here. We added our mask up here to brighten it up. And then we pulled the focus in by making some more, putting some more contrast in the middle. So that's what our mask did here. Then we went to the next one where we put some more colors, some more orange and warm hues into the highlights, pulled down, like made them cooler down here. And we balanced out the middle as well again, as it was a little bit too contrasty this time. And then for the last one, kind of desaturated everything. I get kind of like, now that I look at it again, kind of like this zombie feel, that everything is sort of gone. But yeah, so that's a way to show you how to make 3 different looks from the same clip. So that's it for this video. It was quite a quick one, not necessarily time-wise, but you know, I tried to go through it. We had 3 grades, or we built upon the first grade for the second and the third one. So I hope you learned something. I hope you liked it. I'm gonna make a lot more kind of like tutorial style videos in the coming month, where I show how to use the different tools, what the different tools are, like kind of going more in depth with the specific parts. But I kind of really like this let's color grade kind of thing. And I hope this one wasn't too rushed today, because I tried to do this much and I still don't want to have the videos go too far beyond 20 minutes. I'm going to continue doing these, but there's also a lot more of like tutorial style videos to come. So stay tuned for those, and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.